What up, guys? This is Daniel Manetti with another vlog in the photo shoot or fitness photo shoot journey. It's going to be kind of short, but I'm going to include some lessons learned along the way, and I'm also at the end going to show you a week in my routine when it comes to lifting. So let's first start off with how I'm feeling physically in terms of preparing for this photo shoot. Overall, I haven't really seen well, I've seen physical changes, but in terms of me, how I feel from all this work, putting in and this diet, I'm not really feeling anything different. I'm still feeling a little bit tired. So some workouts are going to be a little rougher than others, but overall, I don't feel that bad, which is, yeah, I can continue on this road and try to accomplish what I'm trying to do with this fitness photo shoot, which is, you know, in my mind, amazing. Now, the other physical side of things, I will say, and I'm going to keep it as brief as possible so I don't have to get too much into detail, but I am suffering from increased water retention and hold on, fridge is open. If anyone else has a fridge that beeps when it's left open and it annoys you just as much as me, leave a comment down below so we can talk about how annoying the fridge can be. But anyways, back to what we were talking about. So I'm experiencing an increase in water retention, and the main reason is due to just hormonal imbalances. Looking at this, I don't really see it as a hindrance or pushing me back in terms of my progress towards the photo shoot. It's just a natural part of life to experience this when it does happen. And if for any of you that do have either hormonal imbalances or sometimes your water retention does fluctuate, one piece of advice I do give is just continue on the road that you're on to success, because once your body does level back out, the results are going to be there. You know, it's only temporary. It's a temporary thing. So just keep on chugging along, keep on working through your diet and exercise plan, and you will become successful once everything balances out. Now, the main thing I wanted to talk about in this vlog that can be a lesson for some people or can be very helpful when looking at certain or not looking at certain things, working on your own projects or challenges of your own, and that is working through an obstacle or working through something or working through anything that doesn't go according to plan. So what do I mean by this? If you've watched any of the previous videos leading up to this one, you know I've talked about saying the photo shoot is planned only for 3 weeks or how many ever weeks from the point of the video, or from the point of when I was filming, correction, and I'm preparing and all this stuff, right? And the original plan was I was going to shoot the photo shoot the week of Christmas, so that way when the holidays came around, I can enjoy that time with my family and some of my friends and not be limited in terms of diet. Well, there were certain factors that weren't in our control, and now the photo shoot has to be pushed back. So for us, that was kind of a for us, that was our plans shifting a little bit and wasn't going according to what we initially intended. So now, for anyone out there, if you have something similar going on or something similar that has happened in the past with you, that you had a project or a challenge that you were doing and something didn't go according to what you were expecting or according to what you were planning on, here are some things that have worked for me that I hope that will help you either now or in the future going into the next project or challenge that you're going to face. Once I found out that it wasn't going to happen according to the original plan, I first kind of wanted to mentally accept it. So what does that mean? So I kind of sat down, ponder about, what just happened. I thought about, okay, what has happened? What could have done differently to prevent it, and what I learned from what happened in order to move forward. And the big thing when it comes to getting back on track, thinking about your project for the mental aspect of it, is knowing that some things just don't go according to plan. I know for me personally, I used to in the past try to control every aspect that I can, even for things that I couldn't control, things that other people that I expected from them, I try to control what they were doing in order to make my work productivity even better. And that just did not work. That wasn't the case. For me personally, the more and more I try to control in my life, the more and more upset I would become when all those different parts of it might not have succeeded or might not go according to the way I wanted it to be. And it ended up just being a bad spot. It's a bad way of thinking. And so for certain projects or challenges that you're doing, that that some different aspects of it may not be in control, go in with more of an open mind, especially for something like this, right? This is just a personal challenge I decided to embark on myself, right? No one else is doing it. Not doing it for any type of recognition or, oh, hey, look at me. I'm trying to do it to get over a fear that I have, and I wanted to push myself to a new limit that I've never been on before. So the fact that it getting pushed back, it was a little bit upsetting at first, but in the end, it's something that is not hurting anyone. It's not anything that is gonna it's anything that's going to not benefit me, and if I don't get it out on time. And so me accepting this one factor I couldn't control, and knowing how to move forward has really helped. And now putting in a new plan in place to get the photo shoot completed and out to social media. So another thing now, once you've mentally grasped what has happened, that didn't go according to plan, we can try to see the positive side of it. Now, for some situations, it may not be positive, or it might not appear positive at first, but if you look it over, if you look it over and realize in the end or at that moment, like, hey, like, this is a good thing, hold on to it, because if you come out of the situation like this with a positive mindset, you're going to have a positive mindset moving forward to accomplishing your goal. So for this, the positive thing that comes out of it not being shoot on the week of Christmas, which is actually this week on filming the video, is now there is more time to put in a better package when it comes to the photo shoot. I have more opportunities to go to the gym. I have more opportunities to hone in my diet. I have the possibility now for my hormonal imbalance, for my water retention to go back to normal, where we don't have to encounter it the day of the photo shoot. The list just goes on, and then after thinking about those things I might have said about the photo shoot got pushed back, no, not in the slightest. This is a win in my book at the end of the day. Another reason why I wanted to do this photo shoot is so we could show off, it's one main reason why we created this channel, is we can show off local businesses and artists and videographers and photographers and things like that on this channel. So me having to wait to do this photo shoot so we can accomplish that part of the goal as well is totally fine in my book, and I am super happy about it, because that's that's one of the main reasons why we did this. We want to show off businesses. We want to show off people, show what they can do. So waiting on that, totally fine, Now, with that being said, what is the plan moving forward? Keep on doing the same diet. That's number one. Keep on doing the same exercises. Number two. The exercises in terms of weight to be used is going to vary because the next time I record a vlog, either the next time or the time after that, I'm actually going to be home. I'm going home for the New Year's for the first time in 6 years. So it's going to be fun and interesting, and you're going to see me in a different environment. And actually, the co-creator of the channel will be on as well. So, but the availability of like weights and gym equipment and stuff is going to vary, so I have to think about or take into account what is available to me. Diet is going to be fine. My family eats healthy like I do, so I should actually see a better result going home. Sorry, hun. No, sorry about throwing you under the bus there, but still love you. But, and we're going to plan it now for hopefully mid-January time frame to do the photo shoot. And I'm going to try to bring an even better package than I was originally. Now, so in terms of vlog updates, that's all I have for you. And now stay watching this video, and you're going to see a full workout, or a full week of workout for the lifting side of my training. And stay watching this video. You're going to see a full week of lifting in terms of what I have personally thrown into my training plan, as well as different tips and tricks I'm going to say along the way. If you have any questions or comments, or you want to hit us up on social media, comment down below or send us a message or email and the information provided. This is Mad Dog Manetti, and I will see you next time on the vlog. Alright guys, here it is. A week of workouts for preparing for the fitness photo shoot. Now, before I continue on, I'd just like to give a shout out to some people that I've derived a lot of my inspiration from. I do watch and follow many different fitness individuals, both on YouTube and Instagram, and I get a lot of inspiration from them. Or mainly for getting ready for this photo shoot, there was two people that I got a lot of inspiration and took a lot of notes and implemented them into my workouts. First one is Brian Alsrew, also known as Neversate. You can find him on YouTube and Instagram. And then the second one was Juji Mufu. Again, you can also find him on YouTube and Instagram. Now, before I go into each individual day, I'll briefly go over what a normal workout when I'm lifting at home looks like in general. So first, for every workout, I started off with a strength set. What that entails is I would do a big mover for the day or a strength exercise, and then follow up with an assistance exercise. After that, then I would go into specifics or work other muscle groups that would help or assist in big major lifts. And then at the end, I would do a finisher that will burn out the muscles to fatigue, and then I would be done. On top of that, for lifting, I also, like I've said in previous videos, I'd walk after every meal, 10 minutes to help myself digest, but also to put more effort and burn more calories throughout the day. And then the other type of cardio or conditioning I would do would be CrossFit. Now, I'm not going to go too much into detail what CrossFit workouts that I did. I just went to a local gym and took their class. But if anyone wants to know my personal experience with CrossFit, I will be more than happy to make another video about that. But that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to go over and show you guys what a week of workouts for this photo shoot did. I hope that anyone who's watching and listening would either pull some inspiration from what I've done, or also I just hope I can motivate at least one person to help them achieve their fitness goals. And that's one reason why I love to do and create such videos. The first day is a push day, and normally for the first push day of the week, I work mainly on shoulders, and then the assistance muscle groups I hit are my triceps and my chest. Based on what I've said before about how my workout is set up, the main mover for this workout was the axle press. Now, another reason, and I'm only mentioning briefly, is why I went to the CrossFit gym, is to work on better technique, because they have coaches there that help people improve their techniques. And if you watch this video and you cringe at any point of how my form is, I did too, because my technique was bad. It wasn't horrible, but it wasn't great. So moving forward, I wish my technique was a little better when I was doing the axle press, but I was able to accomplish what I was going to do. For this week and every other day this week, I was looking to get a top set of 2 to 3 reps. I always hope that I could PR. I know, sometimes it's not going to happen. And the times that I do is even that more enjoyable and that more a sense of accomplishment. And this day, I actually was able to PR. So what I did here for the axle press is I was aiming to get a top set, potentially a PR of 2 reps. And I felt, even with the bad form, like I said, I felt so good that I was actually able to get a new 3 rep PR, which was 150 pounds. And then after I did my axle press, I went straight into an assistance exercise of the straight arm push down. The push down mainly works the upper back, which is very helpful and useful when you're trying to stabilize the axle press overhead. Now, sometimes what I like to do, and this wasn't part of the program, I just was thinking on the fly, is that I wanted to see how much my 10 rep max or 10 rep PR would be. So how many times can I move a certain amount of weight for 10 reps? The reason why I thought about doing this and did it is because I just pushed 150 pounds. Going less weight will feel not as heavy, and I'd be able to complete, hopefully the amount of reps that I wanted to. So after I finished all the sets of getting up to 150, I dropped down the weight to 110, and I got a new 10 rep PR of 110 pounds axle press for 10 reps. Once the axle press was done, I went into my first assistant superset. For this, I focused on the chest and I focused on the rear delts. For chest, what I did was chest fly. And the thing about having a home gym, as you see in the video, is I do have a lot of equipment available to me, but one thing that isn't is a variety of weights. So here I'm using a very light dumbbell, but how I was able to accomplish the feeling of heavier weight is I actually used a resistance band and put it around my back. So it felt more like the weight was more consistent, not just how it would feel heavy at the bottom and not the top. It felt heavy almost throughout the entire range of motion. So that's what I did here. And then afterwards, once I was done, I actually have some weight plates that have holes in them which make it easier to grab, and I use those for rear delts. So those 2 exercises again hit my chest and my rear delt. So normally what I like to do for any sets after the strength set, I either do 3 to 4, maybe even 5 sets of those exercises. For the chest fly and the reverse fly, I did 2 to 3 sets of those. For the last set before the finisher, I increased the sets to 4 to 5. That's just something I like to personally do, ramp up the amount of sets and also the amount of reps based on what I'm trying to accomplish for that specific superset or triset. After I did those 2, I went into working more of the triceps, because the triceps are a major mover and major assistant muscle group when doing the axle press. And what I started off doing is I first did a overhead barbell tricep extension. I find that's very helpful, especially in something like the axle press, because what you're doing is you're moving your arm in the same plane that you would be for the axle press. So it does help when you're doing any overhead pressing. I also did a resistance band side lateral. I should have mentioned I actually did that first. What I think I would have liked to do next time I try to do this is throw the resistance band side lateral in between tricep movements. That way the triceps do get a bit of a break and you're able to, push more weight or push out more reps. But after that, then I did bench dips. And I will say I am not a fan of dips. It's kind of like a love-hate relationship. I love them because I know they will help with any pressing and bench press movements, but I hate them because I just can't figure out the proper body form or proper body position, which helps and doesn't hurt me. But you know what? We're learning. I'm even now to this day trying to find a good body position to do dips, because I know that implementing them would be very beneficial. Finally, after all the lifting, the heavy lifting is done, we get to the finisher. And normally, even today, I wouldn't throw in a finisher. I'm just not a big fan. I'm not looking for fatigue. But for here and getting ready for the photo shoot, I wanted to burn as many calories as possible, as well as, work on the muscle groups that I wanted to. So for this finisher, what I did was 2 sets of 20, which if anyone has bought a Jujimufu program before, he does have a program based upon implementing finishers. So this is an example of me using his inspiration for that. So for the finishers, I did 2 sets of 20 for each one. They were back to back. And for this, I said 20 plus, because if I was feeling I could do more than 20, then I wouldn't hesitate to do more than 20. And what my finisher consisted of was mainly hitting each muscle group. So first I did a front raise to hit the front delts. Then I did rope extension to hit the triceps. And lastly, I did push-ups to hit the chest, triceps, and shoulders. Pretty much a little bit of everything. And that, my friends, was day number 1. Now we're on to day number 2, which is a pull day. My pull day mainly consists of working on deadlifts for the main mover, but I also like to do back and some legs, primarily hamstrings on deadlift days, because the hamstrings do play a big part when doing the deadlift. Now, again, just like axial press, and again, the reason why I wanted to go to a CrossFit gym was to work on my form. So if anyone cringes during my deadlift, I am very sorry. I cringed as well. It does need improvement, and I have improved, but that you'll see that in a later video. Now, after working to get a top set of my max weight for 2 reps for the deadlift, I was able to pull about 315 for 2. Unfortunately, now looking down at my notes, I didn't remember to write down what I pulled, but that's okay. But after the deadlifts, what I did is I did squats, and I know for some people, squats are mainly a quad mover, but me specifically, squats are a big hamstring mover because I'm very hamstring dominant. And if you can squat, or if you have good squat form, squats can actually benefit for the deadlifts, because when you're pushing up or coming out of the hole when you're squatting, it's kind of similar to when you're pulling up on the deadlift. So a strong squat can translate over to a strong deadlift. Anyways, after I squatted, I did a hollow hold to work on my core strength. Now, if I was working for more of like a strongman comp or a powerlifting meet, I would focus more on core strength than core aesthetics. But having a very strong core is beneficial for doing any major exercise that requires a lot of muscle groups. It helps with stability, helps keep your back safe, and overall, a strong core can also mean big numbers and lifts, and that's why I like to do things such as hollow holds. They're not, the aesthetically, like they work on aesthetics. Those exercises work on creating a strong core. After the deadlift strength set, the first assistance superset that I did is I did a single arm dumbbell row and what is called a drag curl. The reason why I did a drag curl was because it kind of just works the biceps different. For many years, all I've done was either a normal dumbbell curl or barbell curl, and anytime I can implement a different type of curl to hit the bicep differently, so it works it differently and overall creates a better result, I like to do that. So I did dumbbell row right into a drag curl. Then the last assistance set is I did a V-grip resistance band row, and I did a I don't know why I said it, but I did a barbell curl also. For me, what I like to do for biceps, and I also like to do for triceps as well, I'll do one exercise that requires both triceps not to work individually, working on the same apparatus or same piece of equipment, and then I would like to include an exercise that they both have their own dumbbell, or they're both not connected, like for example with a rope or something. That's what I like to do. That way it just hits the triceps and biceps differently. Then for this finisher, I did 2 sets, but for this one I said 10 to 20 reps because I did try to go a little bit heavier. I do like to go heavy on back days because I know I can take a lot of weight. So for this I did a body weight row, I did resistance band curls, and I did hammer resistance band curls. The difference between a regular resistance band curl and a hammer resistance band curl is it hits the head of the bicep differently. Now on to day number 3. We are halfway through the workout week, aside from all the walking and the CrossFit. Now, day number 3 was the second push day, but it's not mainly shoulders. It is mainly chest. Chest, arms, and a little bit of shoulders. The strength set for this workout was floor press, finding the top 2 rep max, and then assistance was face pull. Now, I've heard of floor presses before, but I didn't really implement them until the past, I think I would say year or two, just because I'm going to admit I was very naive and didn't think they were needed to get a big bench press. But man, I was wrong. This was an example where, don't look at something and knock it until you try it. And I can honestly say working floor press has changed my chest press significantly. That's a piece of advice I give anyone out there who's struggling to increase their chest press. To throw in some floor press. You'll be pleasantly surprised. But anyways, now you might be thinking, what is she using for this floor press? What is her setup? Those are car jacks. Those are my husband's car jacks. With limited equipment that I do have in the space that I work out in, you gotta think outside the box. So what I did is I set up my husband's car jacks, and I set up and did my floor press that way. Easy setup, and an easy breakdown too, which is perfect. So I did a floor press into a face pull. Now, just like the axle press, the face pull is great in stabilizing those muscles when you're doing the chest press, but also I never knew this before. I think also, again, the past year or two, in order to have a strong chest press, it's good to have a strong back, because in a way, you're using your back muscles to push or help support the push away of the chest press, and I didn't know that. So I like doing the face pull as an assistance because it works the back and it helps activate the back muscles for when you're doing the chest press. Now for this, I was able to get a top set of 2 reps of 150 pounds. And for those of you who haven't watched the video yet, and I don't think he's never been in it yet, but you get a little sneak peek of my husband. He is the best spotter ever. If he's listening, I love you. But yeah, he came and helped me spot for the last top set of the floor press, which was great. And then, like how I did for the axle press, I want to see how many pounds or what my max 10 reps would be, and I was able to get 130 by 10. The one thing I will say about the floor press before I move on is that the floor press is a major tricep exercise. So that's a reason why a lot of people use it, is it gets their triceps strong enough to push a heavy amount of weight when it comes to the chest press. It's not going to work your chest press or your chest muscles as much as a normal chest press would, but it will work the triceps and get them prepped to push heavy weight for your chest press. Also, there's a little cameo of one of my dogs, Winona. She is literally my gym partner. Every time I'm outside lifting, she always wants to come and be a part of it, which is great because I love her and she, brings me joy when I'm in the gym. Okay, so after the floor press, the first assistance set that I did was a single arm standing dumbbell press to work the shoulders, alternating resistance band curls and overhead dumbbell extension. Oh my goodness, that was a mouthful. Now, when I'm on my second push day, I did want to work shoulders because I wanted to get try to, as best as possible as I could, create, those little shoulder that round shoulder head for when I was going to do the photo shoot. By this day, sometimes my shoulders were spent, so I would only try to either do 1, maybe 2 exercises max to work on my shoulders. I think every chest day since I've started lifting, I've always done arms. It's just, it's just a habit. So that's why I threw arms in here as well, with the dumbbell shoulder press. Then the last assistance set before going into the finisher was I did a decline barbell press, superset with incline push-ups. Now, I've been actually doing this type of superset when it came to working chest muscles for years. For me personally, it's been very useful, but I think the offsetting of, working the lower part of the chest with the upper part of the chest really makes sure, you don't miss any muscle group. What I've seen from, various different sources or what I've read is the lower part of the chest is neglected when it comes to chest press, but it actually can be very useful. And the upper part of the chest is very beneficial in not only chest press but also when it comes to overhead presses. For me, I say that because I've realized sometimes when my form is compromised, my overhead presses turn into a chest press. So I'm very thankful that my chest press strength has gone up, even though I am trying my hardest not to do a standing chest press. The incline chest press or incline push-ups don't, hurt to throw them in there just in case you ever find yourself in that situation. And push-ups, oh my goodness, I've been implementing push-ups, I think, since I've started lifting. It definitely has, made my chest stronger over the years. And I will always have push-ups in my workouts when it comes to shoulders or chest, anywhere. But yeah, so I did decline barbell press and incline push-ups. I did that for a few sets, and then I went on to the finisher. The workout day, or not workout day, the lifting day before, I did 2 sets, but only did 10 to 20 reps because I not necessarily wanted to go heavier. I'm not a big fan of using heavy weights for biceps and triceps. I like to, properly get the range of motion, but I can be honest, I was spent when I got to here, especially in push-ups. From working shoulders a few days before, I put enough time in between days for it to rest, but sometimes you might have worked one muscle group a few days before and you try to work it again and it's not going to be there. You might physically not feel tired, but your muscles will definitely be fatigued. So during this finisher, I felt it, and I took note of it. And sometimes if your body, you might not be feeling fatigued physically, but if you go to the gym and you don't perform as well as you thought, you just got to take note. And, you don't have to ruin the day or, leave or something. You just got to, just lower the weight and do what you were going to do. Now, after that, we get to the last day, which I wouldn't say is my favorite day, but it's one of my favorite, and that is leg day, specifically squat day. Working legs is very important. I've enjoyed doing legs. I wouldn't say been hesitant in the past, but a few years, not really a few, oh my goodness, I am not aging myself well, or I'm over-exaggerating. 6 to 7 years ago, I had a major squatting accident, and it wasn't even anything that major. I kind of just fell under the bar, and I didn't squat for 2 years because I was super nervous. But now since I've got over my fear, I've loved squatting again, and it's one of my favorite things to do. Squatting also is very useful. It does, if you're not hamstring dominant like me, you're able to get a really good, well-balanced workout in. But yeah, having a strong squat has transitioned well over to many other lifts. So I'm very thankful for that. So squatting will always be a priority. So for this squat day, my main strength set was I tried to find a top 2 reps of my squat. And then the assistance exercise I did after that was box jumps. And I never thought that an explosive movement could be an assistant exercise. But the more I looked and the more I researched about how muscle fibers works, since the box jumps work different muscle fibers, it does actually improve your squats. Or any other explosive movement you have for a muscle group does improve that muscle group. So again, don't knock it till you try it. And for the squats, if you are not saying I'm low enough, normally what happens is the first set or two, I try to process and rewatch videos on how low my squats are. I do try my best to get to 90 degrees. Sometimes that doesn't happen. I've tried to be better with it more recently now than before, especially with going to CrossFit class and having my form corrected. But yeah, if I'm not going to 90 degrees in here, you're definitely right. So I didn't really, or I wouldn't say I didn't really count it, but I try to be more cognizant of how my depth is for my squats. My last set was my best in terms of depth. So I'm very happy with that. And I'm happy that I am working on it. But yeah, so strength was done. And after that, for the first assistance set, what I did was leg extensions with good mornings and a hollow body hold. The hollow body hold, I already did on deadlift day. I did it again on leg day because a strong core can help with squatting. Leg extensions, since based on the equipment I have, I don't have a good leg extension setup. So I kind of just not rigged it. I MacGyvered it in a sense to get a proper leg extension to work on the quads. And then good mornings. Good mornings have always been one of those exercises, again, like tricep dips. I love it because it does help with the hamstrings, and it can, with proper form, help with your hip hinge, which is, very useful when deadlifting. But I hate it because I never feel comfortable. I always feel like that bar is just going to fall down on me when I do it. It's something that, I fight myself with every time I put it in. I am more willing to do a good morning than a bench dip. So there's that. So that wins in that criteria. And then, so this Saturday, and I remember this, I did not go to CrossFit class. Probably, I'm trying to think as far back as I can, probably because I had drill and drill at home for the Navy. So I actually implemented what the CrossFit workout of the day was into the lifting. And what the CrossFit workout was a 15-minute AMRAP. What that means, it was as many rounds as possible. And it was 50 sit-ups, 5 burpees, 10 lunges, and 15 air squats. Pretty much like a good dosage of calisthenics. And believe me, even though the thing about CrossFit is that the workout might not seem hard, but anytime you say that, it's definitely going to be harder than it looks. And I've learned very well to leave your ego out the door. Don't be overconfident. I mean, you can be confident, but don't be overconfident, because then you'll be disappointed at what your potential result would be. And for this, definitely struggled. Now, if I try to redo this workout, I don't think I would have struggled. I won't struggle as much anymore. But it was actually a good added on bonus, and I treated it more as a finisher to the leg day. And then after that, I just worked on my calves. Calves, I think, in my personal opinion, the calves don't get worked enough. And working with the calves, you have to increase the weight on them or go heavy with them. And the reason being is because when you work the calves, you got to think about how much they already work every day. Your calves already support your body weight. When you work them, you got to either isolate them so they're not supporting your body weight, or you go on a machine and you go heavier than how much you actually weigh, or equivalent, and just do a high number of reps. The calves are made to work. They're made to have a lot of, a high number of reps, because they're used to having walking every day. So when you're training, you have to think about, or training your calves, you have to think about that and take that into account. So for me, what I did is I went inside and specifically isolated the calf muscles in order to work them with resistance bands. And with that being said, that is what the week of fitness at home, at least, I should have said that from the beginning, but I didn't, at home looked like lifting for the fitness photo shoot. Again, if you want me to go into detail about how I feel about CrossFit and what it's done for me, I can, but we'll do that in a different video and a different video series. I hope everyone enjoyed watching a week in the workout. If you enjoyed it, please leave a comment below, and I hope to, post more of these in the future for future video series. I'm Matt Ogmanetti, and I'll see you guys in the next one.